All right, welcome back to the Grand Campaign. Not multiplayer this time. We're playing against the computer, but uh, we just had a dreadful turn last turn. Dreadful, bloody. Yeah, it's pretty much the works. So we've got a bunch of guys trapped in a pocket. It'd be really good to break out some of these divisions because there's still relatively high strength. We have a Romanian or Hungarian, sorry, Hungarian mechanized division to worry about here, but I think this road might be relatively clear. Um, so we'll see what we can do with that. Now, to that end, we've got some air bases in serious danger here, and they took some losses last turn. So, what we need to do is first move stuff around so that the fortress can hold out for a little bit longer. Um, Basically, we want this airbase to just be fighters, and we want to try to hold this town here so that we have fighters in range, because that would be the ideal thing. We do have some fighters in the Black Sea Fleet Air Command, so let's have them fly air superiority to prevent air interdiction. We'll start the turn from the bottom this time. And they're definitely going to be in range, so give it 2 boxes. And then the trick is just trying to get it over here. Confirm. And why? Okay, so show air groups, no fly info, out of range. What's the range on these hunks of crap? Okay, so these guys are depleted. That's why they're out of range. Why are these guys out of range, though? I don't have any air bases on that side of the peninsula. Who is here? Are those just bombers? So what if we move them to there? So even if they stage from there, they don't have enough range? That's crazy. All right, well, that's going to be a problem. All right, so let's transfer you guys back to the reserve since you're depleted. And I guess we'll have to use the Southwestern Air Commands because, or Southern Air Command, because maybe they'll actually have some planes. They do. Will anything be in range, though? That is the question. Hmm. Oh wait, we have a mission already running, but no one's in range of that already. Even if we just run it like 5 planes. Range is definitely a problem here. So that's the range that they have. Such short range. Let's cancel all these air directives. What is in Odessa? Just some transports. I almost want to fly in a small air group or bring something in from reserves or something like that. Let us check the reserves to see what we have for air groups. And what we really are looking for is like 25 planes. And we want them in the reserves. Okay, so we got 25 megs, or 30 megs rather. All right, let's bring those guys in. Oh, got to do it all over again. Transfer them in. It's actually the first planes we've brought in instead of pushed out. And now those guys should be able to go and fly air superiority. Right? Or am I wrong? God, sometimes these commands screw with me so much. Why am I absolutely struggling with this? Okay, so they have no free mileage. That's what their issue is. I guess when you bring them in from the reserve, they don't come with mileage built in. So we actually do need to transfer one of these air groups over to him. Oh shit, I just sent it to the reserve. Oopsies. I meant to... Oh well. There we go. Perfect. All right, well, I'm really running low on bombers down here. And frankly, there's not much to do other than run away. So I think probably that's what I'm going to end up doing here for the most part. Just trying to find anyone who's left in the line of fire. Don't really want these guys that close. Maybe I will fly a little bit of air superiority over Kiev just to prevent strategic bombing. And potentially to give our guys stuff to do. Because otherwise they won't be, gaining experience and stuff like that. I still don't quite understand how the experience thing works, but I assume that you have to fly to gain experience. Maybe that's a stupid assumption, but I'm assuming that if you don't fly, you don't gain experience. And eventually I do want my pilots to have some experience. I wonder how long Odessa holds out in this form. Like, is it 1 turn, 2 turns? How long does it take to fall? Guess we shall find out. Well, I think I might split this air turn into 2 videos just because it's very late. And I am still kind of planning it out a little bit. So I might end up doing 2 videos tomorrow, a multiplayer one and the rest of this air turn. But obviously the southern area is the area that needs the most attention, so that's why I started there. The central and northern areas are going to have to be stabilized with the reinforcements that I brought in on the ground. And looking here, we didn't get quite the amount of supply I was hoping to get. But they're also pretty far from their supply source, and there's no rail to them, and the organization down there is not the best. So I guess it is what it is. But I'm really thinking that I'm going to have to bring in a big cavalry army down in the south at some point. The problem is once they break through our initial line here, there's just nothing to stop them. So we really have to retreat far if we're going to survive, or we have to pour in a lot of troops. But ideally, if we can break out of this pocket and then swing some guys further up here, that would help us survive. And then once the Kiev stuff starts turning bad, we'll just have to keep pulling back really far because there's no air bases here. There's no supply. Yeah, it's just a really bad place to fight for us. And the terrain's not particularly great. But I did want to fight around the Kiev area because there is some good terrain there to fight. Probably the next line would be all the way back here, like in the Donetsk region. So the Don River, all that area. Because the Dnieper River Valley is now going to go to Nazi-controlled, Nazi occupation. And after that, the Don River is our next major defensive line. But obviously that's a long way back, and that's at the end of the year. Hopefully. Hopefully we can stall them out till then. But then Crimea we can kind of turn into a fortress and hold that for a long time, hopefully. That's the goal. But definitely looking at our strategic situation, it is pretty dire. We got this huge gap to deal with. Got huge gap in the north and just a general reorganization that we need to do in the north. Even though we kind of held on, I just don't feel very comfortable here. Especially with how weak some of these divisions are. And they've just been fighting for weeks and weeks straight. Obviously these rifle divisions haven't been fighting for weeks, but everyone else pretty much has. And I would like to start moving the line back to kind of this forested line here. That would be a nice spot. Maybe even 1 hex in front of that. It's just so hard to get organized. I don't know. At this point, they're just beelining for the big victory points because I can offer such little resistance. I'm glad this mountain army, or mountain division rather, survived and escaped the pocket. Hopefully I can get this other mountain division out of there, and we'll have saved half of our mountain divisions, because these other three are probably going to die. They're just going to be tough to break out. Don't have a ton of strength down here to send in. I mean, ideally we want to try to move them straight back, but I'm not sure what's there. We'll find out. All right, well, till tomorrow. Hopefully the Rodina will continue its path to stabilizing the line, and we'll find some way to eventually stall it out and then push back. All right. Till then, have a good night.